Hey everybody, welcome to my second annual Fright Fest. I'm really excited to be doing this. I actually did not plan on doing it today. It is, what's today's date? I think it's the 10th. In the next clip I'll confirm that, but I think it's the 10th. And I worked a 10-hour shift today, and it's now a quarter after midnight. And I figured I have a 4-day in a row weekend, like 4 days off in a row, so I might as well do it tonight and get it over with so I could rest up tomorrow and start editing it and all that kind of stuff. So I'm doing it a little bit different this year. I'm not really saying it has to be 12 hours, but the requirements are you have to watch 4 horror movies. One of them you have to have never seen it. And then also, the third thing is that you need to talk about some of your favorite horror films, review them, give little quick opinions on them, and so I'll do that later. And of course, the fourth requirement, if you're doing this, is to send me a link, because they took away video responses. So just send me a link so I could watch it and, share it around and comment on it and stuff. So I have no clue what I'm going to watch first. I have some new horror Blu-rays that I might dig into, but yeah. So welcome again to my 12-hour to my second annual Fright Fest. So let's go ahead and get started. Wait a second. Oh my gosh. For those of you who didn't know, that was actually a Doctor Who ripoff skit referring to the Weeping Angels, who are very, very creepy aliens from another planet who, I'm not going to give you the scientific reasoning behind it, but let's just say they are creepy, and when you look at them the first time, they're there, and if you blink or look away or the lights go out, they move closer. They only move when you're not looking at them, or it's dark and you can't see them. They're awesome because they're so creepy. The first film I decided to go with is Lucio Fulci's Zombie. It's an amazing Italian zombie film. It's just amazing. I recommend everybody see this if you're into gory zombie films. I think it was released in 1978, I believe. Yeah. So it's almost 12:30, and I'm gonna go ahead and get the remote. Press play. Play. There we go. Yeah, I was first turned on to this film. Sorry about this camera quality really sucks sometimes. This is my really crappy handheld HD camera that's just a piece of junk. I should be getting a new camera soon, and I actually have a video about that coming soon. But I'm using this crappy one for right now, and that's if it looks crappy to you. It looks crappy to me. But anyways, I first got introduced to this film when I first started YouTube, or, watching YouTube, and I was, watching Cool Duder's videos, and I have always watched horror movies, and I've watched foreign horror movies, but he had this in his collection, and he talked about it, and I looked it up, and I just wanted to see it so bad, so I blind bought it. This was back in, when was it? 2010, I believe it was. And I bought it, and it is so amazing. I watch it at least every 4 or 5 months. I love this film. Really great gore effects. I still think Day of the Dead has better gore effects, but Lucio Fulci is amazing at filmmaking, and just the camera angles on this film is just brilliant. Let me go ahead, I'll show you. Well, I kind of missed it, but he has these shots that are like when a zombie or somebody's walking. You know, it's like almost like they're holding the camera in front of them. The zombie's holding the camera in front of them, and it's it shakes like a POV shot, but not really a POV shot. It's just great filmmaking. They don't do these kind of horror films anymore where they're graphic and gory practical effects, but with really good cinematography, really good filmmaking, and really good writing. I mean, I personally think The Evil Dead was a very good movie. The recent one, the remake. I thought it was a great film, and not everybody liked it, but I loved it. I thought it was a really good improvement over the horror genre, even though it was a remake. But it wasn't really a remake if you actually look at the backstory and the production and what they want to do with that series. It's kind of more like just another film in the universe. But that's neither here nor there. And I'm not going to be watching it tonight, but I just figured I'd go ahead and talk about it since it's a Fright Fest. I think the lead actress in this film is Mia Farrow's sister, if you guys know who that is. Which any cinephile would know who that is. Rosemary's Baby. Yeah, it has to be her. It looks just like her. But, yeah, I just love this film. So. My drink of choice for right now is, it looks like I'm zoomed out, but there we go, is some green tea. I didn't buy any soda, I didn't buy anything with major amounts of caffeine, so I just have some green tea that has some honey in it. So maybe it'll help keep me awake, because I am pretty tired, but this is a Fright Fest. I'm gonna be awake. I'm gonna stay awake. Or else Freddy will get me and I will die. Another thing I really love about this movie is that there's this epic scene where a zombie and a shark fight, pretty much, and it's pretty cool. It's really funny and over the top, but it's just brilliant because it works with this film. Yeah. It's awesome. Hey everybody, just got done watching Zombie. Brilliant ending, as always. Just everything about that movie is just screams awesome. So if you haven't seen it, please check it out and do yourself a favor. It's really good. Now it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and watch something that I've never seen. And so I'm going to go ahead and look on Netflix and see if there's anything that I might be interested in, which I'm sure there will be. Alright, well I decided to go with Hellraiser. It's one of those movies that I've just never, ever seen. And I don't know, it's just crazy how I've never seen this movie, or any of the other Hellraiser movies. So I figured I'd go ahead and give it a shot. What's the worst that will happen? I won't like it? Yeah, let's go ahead and check it out. it's time for a little snack. And I figured to go the unhealthy route. A Twinkie. I love Twinkies, and I'm glad they're back. Alright guys, well, I just got done watching Hellraiser. I didn't really care for it too much. I don't know. I just did some reading online, and apparently it isn't like a big, huge, like acclaimed horror movie. I thought it was. I thought it was like a really good, classic horror film. 80s horror film. The gore was amazing. It was really good gore. I don't know. I think the story was just kind of weak. But, I don't know. I got mixed feelings about it. I guess you could say I'd give it probably, if I were to rate it, I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10 or maybe a 5 out of 10. It just wasn't as gripping to me. Like, I pressed play and I wasn't really taken in by it completely. Sometimes horror movies, movies in general, sometimes they just don't do that. But this one, it didn't, and I was kind of disappointed because I really wanted to see this one, and then see all the sequels too, all a million of them. But I don't know. I guess I'll give Hellraiser 2 a chance whenever I see it on TV or whether it's on Netflix. But I don't really know what I'm watching now, but it's definitely after 3 o'clock, and I've watched 2 films so far. I watched Zombie, and I've watched Hellraiser, and so it's about 3:45, and I guess I should go ahead and figure out what I'm going to watch next. Let me know what you think about each of the films down below as well. I'd like to hear your thoughts. And, yeah. Alright guys, well next I decided to go with Day of the Dead. And this is my new, Scream Factory Blu-ray. So I'm really excited to watch this. One of my favorite zombie films of all time. Definitely in my top 3, with Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and this one, all directed by George Romero. So let's go ahead and get started. I think I watched this last year too in my Fright Fest, but it's a film I watch every year anyways, and this just happens to be the new Blu-ray. So I'm excited. So let's start watching it. Day of the Dead. Alright guys, well, I'm about halfway through Day of the Dead, and I'm getting kind of tired. Actually, I think I'm going to pause and get some sleep, wake up, and continue my marathon. I plan on doing a lot of watching tomorrow, hopefully. But I'm really enjoying this so far. I've been watching movies for over a while now. It's after 4 o'clock. Probably wake up around 9 or so and start watching, finish watching Day of the Dead and then start watching something else. I haven't decided if I'm going to do this throughout the weekend or not, but I will let you know, and you will know by however long this video is. So, this is the end of part 1. Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of my Fright Fest. Just woke up, slept probably for like 4 or 5 hours. That's all I really need. And, yeah, I just finished watching Day of the Dead. I didn't really have a lot left to do, so I just figured I'd go ahead and watch that before I start the next film and do another part of the video. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start, and where's it at? Oh, it's over there. I'm actually going to go ahead and watch a few of
Friday the 13th movies. I'm going to start with number 1. And, yeah, I really like these movies. They're really, I mean, they're not nearly as good as, like, Halloween. But I think that the, some of the sequels, like, I like, Friday the 13th Part 3 through Part, Jason Lives. I think Part 3, Jason Lives, and, some of the, just a couple of the other ones, I feel are better horror movie sequels than Halloween 4 through the rest of them. In some cases, I definitely think it's better than, I think everything's better than Halloween Resurrection. But, yeah, I've always liked the Friday the 13th movies. I mean, I know critics slam them, and not everybody likes them, but I just think they're, like, especially the first one's kind of a slow burn of a film. It's not really fast-paced, but it's like a slow burn slasher film. But, like, Part 2 through the rest of them, they're just fun movies, and they're really, creepy, atmospheric because of where they take place, but I've always really enjoyed them. So I'm going to go ahead and pop in Friday the 13th Part 1. It's about 9:30, and yeah. So I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Nothing really spectacular, but I mean, it's just me watching horror films, so it's not like I'd be doing an out and about or anything like that. I mean, who knows? I might make a coffee run or something like that, but I doubt it. Alright, let's go ahead and start Friday the 13th. Alright, let's press play. Uh-oh. Alright guys, well I just finished part 1 of Friday the 13th. Just a fun movie. I really like it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and pop in part 2. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, well before I watch Friday the 13th part 2, I'm going to eat some lunch and take a shower. So that's what I'm going to do. Hey everybody! I actually just got out of the shower. I decided I'm not going to watch Friday the 13th Part 2. I'm thinking about skipping to Part 3, just because that one's my favorite out of the whole series. And I just watched Part 2 pretty recently. And, yeah, so I'm in my car, sitting in front of my place, and I'm actually thinking about going to McDonald's or somewhere to get a drink. I just ate lunch, but there is nothing. I mean, I have water, but I'm really craving like a soda. So I'm really craving like a Diet Coke or, Sprite Zero or something. Basically just some carbonation. So I am gonna go get some. Yeah, traffic around this area is always really, really, really busy around lunchtime. Mainly because we have a Walmart and we have a Target in the same intersection. And like 3 different gas stations, a Panda Express, a Chick-fil-A, a Taco Bell, I think GameStop, and a million other things all in this just one intersection. I remember when I was a kid, this intersection was just 2 lanes each way, and, both roads were just 2 lanes each way, and trees. There was nothing at all. It was just pure trees. So, yeah. But yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and go to McDonald's and get a drink. Just because I don't really feel like getting out and going into the store or anything like that. So, figured I might as well film while I'm out here. See that billboard? Divorced! Men only! Alright, we're coming up on the McDonald's on the right. Some of you guys must be saying, you're going out of this much out of your way to get a drink. Well, it's kind of a mixture between I'm really craving carbonation
and it's just nice to get out of the house. You know, today's my first day off in a while, and usually on my first days off, I just kind of sit around. Well, this is an excuse for me to get out, at least for a little while. And I have a little family get-together. Not really a family get-together, but just some people, we're going to get together and hang out tonight. So, I'll be out later, but I just needed to get out a little bit today, so. You know you're busy when a person takes your order. I didn't have my wallet in my pocket, and I thought I forgot it, so I got out of the drive-thru line, and I drive away, and then I realized I do have my wallet. It's right in the seat next to me. I'm an idiot. Yep, so I'm in line getting my drink. And that girl at the front, man, she was rude. I don't like when people are rude to me like that. I was like, have a good day. She's like, Plus some of the other things she said, which is kind of rude, but whatever. Alright, well, I guess I figured I have a little story to tell before, I get home. I'm driving home right now. My bottle of water just fell. It's all good. Yeah. Friday the 13th Part 3 is definitely my favorite. It was the first one I saw out of all of them when I was a kid. But, also, I actually had a chance to meet the filmmaker behind Part 2 and 3 and one of the, creative minds behind the original series, Steve Miner. He directed it, or directed Part 2 and 3. He did Halloween H2O, the bad remake of Day of the Dead, which I thought was awful, and he's done some other movies too. But I used to work at a retirement community, and there was a couple there that I knew that I had served, in the restaurant and stuff there, and I became quite close with. And, their last name was Miner, and I was like, I never thought anything of it, and she always referred to her son. I mean, this couple was in their 90s, and they kept referring to their son Steven, and how Steven loves movies, and she was like, and everybody there knew I loved movies, and so she'd be like, yeah, my son Steven likes movies too, he makes little movies of his own, thinking it was somebody like, I don't know, maybe in their 40s that just likes making movies, but just has a regular job, kind of a guy like me that is just older. And after me working there for like 3 or 4 years, she was like, yeah, Steven's out in Hollywood making his zombie movie. And I was like, zombie movie? What's this? Steve Miner. It sounds so familiar. And she was like, yeah, I think it's called Day of the Dead or something. And I was like, no, this can't be that Steve Miner. And so then I went online and looked, and it was the same Steve Miner, and I was talking to his parents all this time, and, became quite close with them through my job. And I actually had a chance to meet him, because he came one Thanksgiving, and, at first I was really, really nervous. I had never been to a convention at this point, so, like, me being around any kind of celebrity of any kind, I was really nervous. So actually, I was like in one of the people serving the table, but I had one of my friends get the autograph for me, and like in the middle of him writing the autograph, I basically grew a set, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say hi, like, hey, you're actually writing that for me. I'm Ryan. Sorry, I was just too nervous to actually say anything to you, and he said a few really nice things. I told him that I like movies and I want to be a filmmaker one day. And on my ticket that I was, taking their order with, he asked for a blank one and actually got an autograph on it. So I actually keep that in my Friday the 13th Part 2 DVD case. And so I'll show you that when I get home. I just figured that was a little cool story I could share with y'all. But, yeah, it's just one of those things, like, I just never put the puzzle pieces together forever, and then I realized who it was, and so, and to me, that experience of meeting somebody was way better than any convention I've ever been to, just because it was kind of weird, because I was close with their parents, because when you work at retirement communities, whether it's in the restaurants that they have, it was like all retired military and people that live here. And so, like, when you live in those kind of places, you become quite close with the people that live there. And so that's the kind of situation it was. So it was really, really funny. I was like, man, I, like, grew up watching your movies. Your Friday the 13th movie is my favorite. You know, that kind of thing. So, alright. Alright, like I said, the autograph is in my DVD case for Friday the 13th Part 2. Go ahead and open it up. Whoa. There we go. For Ryan, best wishes, Steve Miner. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I just keep it in here. Just figured I'd show it off a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to put in Friday the 13th Part 3. The first one I ever saw and my favorite. And Steve Miner actually makes a cameo in this one. He plays the news reporter that's on TV towards the beginning of the movie when Jason is walking around that house. So, here we go. You know what always made me laugh about this movie is that I think it's entertaining from start to finish. I don't think there's any slow spots. You know, the first two were kind of slow burners, but they're still great. This one's really great just because it's more fast-paced, like the rest of the series, but I think this one's more quality. But the funny thing is that you could tell that when the writers were writing it, they were like, alright, we need to get the body count really high, so what we're going to do is we're going to add a random group of bikers that really don't have anything to do with the story, and just to have them die. You know, like, I never really, like, I always remember this one as a kid as the one with the bikers, the biker gang. But, like, the older I got, I realized that it was such a pointless thing for them to do. But it was given, you know, it gave the movie more body counts. And they died in some pretty cool, like, crazy, gory ways. But, like, I don't know, it's just funny. And it just adds to the entertainment factor of this film. I just love it. Alright, guys, well, I just finished watching Friday the 13th Part 3D. Part 3. And, I think that's going to conclude my Fright Fest for this year. Obviously, I have plenty more of horror movies I'm going to be watching, but this is actually going to be my Fright Fest video. I watched, let's see, yesterday I watched Zombie. That's a 5 out of 5 star film. I watched Hellraiser, a film that I didn't really care for that much, but it had great effects. So for that, I give it a 5 out of 10 stars. Then I watched Day of the Dead. And, of course, that's a 5 out of 5 star film. Today I woke up, finished watching Day of the Dead, and then I started watching Friday the 13th. Of course, that one, I think part 1 is obviously probably like a 8, maybe a solid 7.5, maybe a solid 7 or 8 out of 10. And then, of course, Friday the 13th Part 3, which I think is, a 5 out of 5. And I'm giving these ratings based upon the movies. I'm not, I give The Godfather a 5 out of 5 because that's my favorite film, or a 10 out of 10. But I'm rating these, based on the entertainment value of the film. And so, this one definitely keeps me entertained, so I give it like a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. And did I watch something else? I can't remember, but I watched over 4 films. And this last segment that is going to be right after this is going to be me talking about my favorite horror films. And so, I guess this is the end of part 2. The next part is part 3, the final part.